right, so we've been talking about right triangles so far, and now we want to be able to talk about finding areas, finding lengths of sides of triangles of any kind that maybe they don't have a right triangle, because not very many triangles in the world have a right angle in it. And so we're going to be talking about the law of sines. Now, this should have been covered in your geometry class and then again in Algebra 2, but with the pandemic, everything got a little crazy, so hopefully this will make sense to you. Get to the next one. All right, so since not all triangles are right triangles, we need to come up with a way to solve any triangle. So that means if I have triangle ABC where A, B, and C are not a right angle, they could be anything we want them to be. And then remember we said when I have big A here, my opposite is little a, and when I have big B here, my opposite is little b. And I want to be able to solve this triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in this height. And by adding this height, I've created two right triangles. So I have a right triangle on the left with a leg of H and a hypotenuse of B. And I have a triangle on the right here with a leg of H and a hypotenuse of A. So if we ignore this right side triangle and just look at this left triangle, you'll notice that the sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse, and so we get H over B, which means that if I cross multiply, the height is B times the sine of A. Then using the triangle on the right and ignoring the triangle on the left, we're going to say that the sine of B is the opposite, which is H, over the hypotenuse, which is A. And if I cross multiply, we get the height to be A times sine of B. Now, these are both equal to the same height because it's the height of the same exact triangle. So I can set them equal to each other. And so it doesn't look very pretty because I've got A's and B's mixed. So I'm going to divide through by A, B. That way these B's will cancel and these A's will cancel and I will get something pretty. That is the sine of A over little a is equal to the sine of B over little b. So remember, capitals represent angle measure and lowercase represent lengths of sides. Okay, and then we could do a little bit more. If I rotated the triangle and got in a new height, I could also say that it's equal to the sine of C over C. And I'm sorry, my picture kind of messes that up. Okay. Okay, so we're given any random triangle ABC and recognize this triangle is not to scale. So it's not to imply C has to be the largest. It's just a drawing of a random triangle and I named the angles A, B, and C. So we're going to label what we know. So we know that angle A is 38 degrees. We know that angle B is 63 degrees, and we know that little c is 15 degrees. And we want to be able to solve the triangle. So that means we need to have all 6 parts. So I need to know angle A, I need to know angle B, and I need to know angle C. I also need to know little a and little b and little c. So far I can fill in, I know that big A is 38. I know that big B is 63, and I know that little c is 15. So again, I still know 3 things, and I have 3 more things to find. Okay? So then if we set up our law of sines, and I believe if you look in the book, they do it reversed, but I didn't want to mix you up just in case you learned it in geometry this way. They just flip it, they do the reciprocal. And then we've got sine of c over little c. And then what we're going to do is we're going to substitute everything we know into this equation. So I know big A. Oh, sorry. Before we even do that, is there something easy to find? So hopefully you can see I've got 2 out of the 3 angles. So let's go ahead and take care of that and say that 38 plus 63 plus the measure of angle C would be a sum of 180 degrees. So if I take my calculator and I take 180, subtract 38, and subtract 63, we get C is equal to 79. All right, so that was nice and easy. So now we just have 2 more things to find. And so plugging it in, I've got the sine of 38 over little a, which I don't know, is equal to the sine of 63 over little b, which we don't know, is equal to the sine of 79 over little c, which is 15. Okay, so if you notice, I have one fraction where I know everything. So this is, I don't know where I got this word from, but this is what I call my anchor fraction. So I'm going to use that fraction to find A, and then separately I'm going to use the same fraction to help find B. So if they're all equal to each other, it doesn't matter what order I write them in. So I've got the sine of 38 over A is equal to the sine of 79 over 15. So if I cross multiply, I have A times the sine of 79. And on the other side, I have 15 times the sine of 38. And then if I want to get A by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by the sine of 79. And so then we're going to plug this into our calculator. So I'm going to do 15 times. So again, in my calculator, I'm going to do the sine of 38. If you have a backwards calculator, you're going to do 38 sine. Then you're going to say divided by, and again in mine, I'm going to say sine of 79. If you have a backwards calculator, you'd say 79 sine. And then we're going to press equals, and I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, so I have A is approximately 9.4. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in over here. So I've got one more number to find, so I'll put a little line here so I don't get confused. So to find B, I still want to use my anchor. So I'm going to say the sine of 63 over little b is equal to the sine of 79 over 15. And so if I cross multiply, I have b times the sine of 79 is equal to 15 times the sine of 63. And then if I want to get b by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by the sine of 79. So these cancel. Oops. And then in my calculator, I'm going to type in 15 times, and then however you do the sine of 63, I'll close that, and then divided by, and I've got however you do the sine of 79, press equals, and that leaves me with b is equal to 13.6. And so now we have everything that it took to complete that triangle, to solve that triangle. All right, so in our next example, we've got A is equal to 33 degrees, we have B is equal to 29 degrees, and we have little b is equal to 41. And so what I want you to notice in both of these problems, they gave me two angles and the length of a side. So we're either dealing with an angle and the side in two angles and the side in between them, or we're dealing with two angles and the side not between them, okay? So in either of those two situations, we're going to use what's called the law of sines. So again, these are two angles with the side not between them, so that's angle, angle, side. So looking at this, I'm looking for angle A, it's 33 degrees. Angle B is 29 degrees. We're looking for angle C. We want little a. We've got little b is equal to 41, and then we're looking for little c. So the fact that I know two angles means I can find that third one. So I'm going to say 33 plus 29 plus c gives me 180. So then if I do 180 minus 33 minus 29, I get big C is 118 degrees. Okay. And so then with that knowledge, I can fill in my law of sines. So I'm going to say that I have the sine of A over little a equal to the sine of B over little b equal to the sine of C over little c. So if I substitute what I know, I've got big A is 33 degrees. And then little a we don't know. I've got big B is 29. And I've got little b is 41. And then I've got big C is 118. Whoops, ignore that C right there. And little c we don't know. So in this case, it's going to be the middle one that is going to be our anchor. because this is the one that we know everything about. So I'm going to use that to find A, and then I'm going to use it again to find C. So I'm going to say that we've got the sine of 33 over A is equal to the sine of 29 over 41. So if we cross multiply, we get A times the sine of 29 is equal to 41 times the sine of 33. And then if I divide both sides by the sine of 29, then that's what I'm going to plug into my calculator. So let's see if I can get this just right. So I'm going to say 41 times the sine of 33 divided by the sine of 29 equals, and I've got little a is about 46.05, so 46.1. Okay. So see if you can find little c. So we're going to say that the sine of 29 over 41, the one that we know, is now equal to the sine of 118 over c. So if we cross multiply, I have c times the sine of 29 is equal to 41 times the sine of 118. And then I can divide both sides by the sine of 29. And so we can say 41, we got times the sine of 118, close that, divided by the sine of 29 gives me 74.67, which makes C equal to 74.7. Now, here's an interesting thing. So let me add in these values over here. And we've got 74.7. So notice these angles are in the order of B is smallest, A is in the middle, and C is the largest. And notice over here, little b is the smallest, little a is the medium, and little c is the largest. So that should match. The angle opposite the longer side is the larger angle.